Right now, a woman found dead in a home in Lake Delton, all that we know so far.
And we had rain for parts of the area today. When can you expect more in your neighborhood? We're going to track that together in a couple of moments.
And 2 bodies are found in lakes in southern Wisconsin over the holiday weekend. A look at how to stay safe out on the water in light of these tragic incidents. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 5:30. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. We start with some developing stories near Wisconsin's lakes. First to Lake Delton, where officials found a woman dead Friday night. Officers responded to a scene on Canyon Road regarding a suspicious activity complaint. Multiple agencies arrived on scene and located a dead woman inside of the home. The Lake Delton Police Department are continuing to investigate the incident. Right now, there is no immediate danger to the public. Hours later, authorities found a man from Texas dead in Delavan Lake Saturday afternoon. The town of Delavan Police Department and Delavan Fire were dispatched to an area at 2:27 p.m. for a report of a man in the water near the view of the crest area of the lake. A 26-year-old man was later recovered from the water. A search and recovery operation was launched upon the arrival. Dive and sonar teams from the Walworth County Sheriff's Office, dive team, and the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources joined local responders in the effort. An investigation into the death remains active. However, Delavan police reported no foul play is suspected. And another man is found dead in Lake Mendota earlier this morning. The Madison Fire Department was called to the scene just after 6 a.m. Fire officials confirmed to News 3 Now that UW-Madison Police Department will be leading the investigation. UW police confirmed to News 3 Now a passerby reported a person was found approximately 50 feet offshore near the Memorial Union. A preliminary investigation indicates the person is a middle-aged man. UWPD reported there are no signs of foul play. And as people head out and enjoy the water, it's always important to prioritize safety. Our Tanisha Shaw talked to the lake rescue crew at the Madison Fire Department about ways you can stay safe this summer.
First responders are usually busy during a holiday weekend.
Some of the biggest risk factors that we see in our calls is people swimming alone, people boating without personal flotation devices. Unfortunately, alcohol use is really common.
This 4th of July weekend is no different. Crews found 2 men dead on 2 separate occasions, one in Lake Mendota and another man dead in Lake Delavan.
Weather this summer actually has been really volatile, and it's always a factor that increases the amount that boats will drift.
Take a look at Lake Mendota Sunday afternoon. You can see the waves rippling and the flags are just waving through the wind. These are some of the signs that the waters may be volatile.
Nature sets the rules, and when it comes to weather and wind and waves, we don't get to control those variables. And it's important not to be overconfident.
Even though it may seem like it's second nature, it's important to know how to stay safe on Wisconsin's lakes.
Let somebody, a loved one or a friend, know what your plan is, when you're heading out into the water and when you plan on returning, so that people can wait to hear from you in case anything goes wrong. For people that are training for a swimming sporting event like Ironman, for example, you can also have a partner with a kayak or a canoe accompany you so that you've got somebody close by that can assist.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. First responders also ask everyone to check the forecast before going into the water. Let's go ahead and get a check with your first one forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us now. So Alex, we got some rain in southern Wisconsin, but we may have some fog on the way because of it.
Yeah, absolutely, Jalen. That's that perfect recipe. Have all that moisture near the surface, clearing skies tonight, calm winds. That's that perfect recipe for fog. So heads up. Patchy fog and slow down as we get into the later overnight hours. And then as we wake up Monday morning heading off to work, you may run into some of those patches of that dense fog. The rainfall that we saw across southern Wisconsin, it was sparse in some areas, plentiful in other areas. Look east of Janesville, east of Beloit. Even had a viewer unconfirmed reporting over 7 inches of rain locally, 3 inches in the southern part of Walworth County, 1.3 inches right at the Rock County, Illinois border. Then Then right in the middle, Madison up towards Sauk City, over towards Jefferson, just 1/10 of an inch. But then you go further northwest up towards Richland Center, closing in on over an inch. Radar 3000, maybe a few sprinkles still left over in Rock and in Walworth counties. Temperatures right now really verify where did the sun come out. Madison areas to the north and west. Where has it stayed cloudy and showery throughout the day? Areas east of Madison. We're sitting at 80 right now in Madison right now. As we plan the evening, quite nice. Temperature staying in the 70s. The humidity will slowly drop off as those winds usher in slightly less humid air. Now, rainfall chances. The next chance is Tuesday. A good chance on Friday. Coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to give you a glimpse of what Tuesday's rain and thunderstorm chances will look like.
All right, sounds good, Alex. We'll see you in just a bit. And as always, you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC weather. Coming up next on News 3 Now, a new Pew Research study finds a high percentage of adults use streaming services. See how many still use cable. Plus, the death toll continues to climb in Texas in the aftermath of major flooding. All that we know so far. A new survey shows most Americans watch streaming services and far fewer subscribe to cable or satellite. The Pew Research study found 83% tune into streaming services, with Netflix and Amazon Prime Video leading the way. Researchers found that only 36% currently use cable or satellite. The study shows streaming use varies by age and income. 9 out of 10 people under 50 are watching programming on streaming services, while Americans 65 and older say they most likely subscribe to cable or satellite. Adults with higher incomes also prefer streaming, while lower income Americans often use cable. About a third of all Americans do both. They subscribe to cable or satellite and watch streaming services. Newly released documents show a top Food and Drug Administration vaccine official overrode agency experts in May to recommend against the broad use of 2 COVID-19 vaccines. Vinay Prasad is the director of the agency's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research. In 2 memos, he disagreed with agency experts' conclusions about the vaccine safety. Prasad also disagreed about the ongoing threat of the virus, particularly for young and healthy people. His thoughts about coronavirus vaccine eligibility are in line with the Trump administration. At least 79 people are dead and at least 41 still missing after devastating flash floods slammed Texas Hill Country, with water rescues taking place along the Guadalupe River, which rose rapidly early Friday morning to the height of at least a 2-story building. CBS's Karen was there and joins us with the latest.
For first responders in Kerr County, Texas, it's been a harrowing weekend of searching and rescuing in the wake of early morning 4th of July floods.
We will continue to search our search efforts until everybody is found.
Officials say the death toll throughout the state has climbed to at least 70 and 41 remain missing. Multiple campers from Camp Mystic, the girls' summer camp in Kerr County, are among the missing.
I had the opportunity yesterday to visit Camp Mystic and get to see firsthand what happened there, as well as all the way downstream after that. And it was nothing short of horrific to see what those young children went through.
Officials evaded questions from reporters Sunday as to why the campers weren't evacuated sooner.
One of the questions that still hasn't been answered 3 days into this is, despite TEM's warning on July 2nd and July 3rd that something like this could have happened, that the threat existed, why that information didn't get down to the camps and why they weren't evacuated. Can you answer that now?
That is a great question, but again, we want to make sure that we continue to focus. We still have 11 missing children that we want to get reunited with our families. Until we can get reunited with our families, we are not going to stop until we do. So, thank you.
Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is leading the federal disaster response.
We do know the number one priority now is people, is making sure we're finding people as fast as possible.
In addition to the children's summer camp, RV parks along the river were filled with people on vacation for the 4th of July. They had no warning a wall of water was coming their way. Karen Hua, CBS News, Kerrville, Texas.
Our thoughts are with those that were impacted. But coming up next on News 3 Now at 5:30, Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington returns with a complete look of your First One forecast.
Rain for some on the last day of our holiday weekend, especially for areas Madison and south and east. But the water that we've had the past couple of days, light winds, clear skies, patchy fog is number one in the three things you need to know. Number two here, sunny conditions Monday. Really, you can't beat Monday. It's going to be one of the nicer days in July that we've had so far. And Tuesday, scattered thunderstorms return to the picture here. Let's start off with radar 3000, perhaps a few sprinkles just south and east towards Janesville, over towards Elkhorn. That's where we've had some areas of concentrated showers and a couple rumbles of thunder this afternoon. That's where they've also had some of the heaviest rainfall estimates of nearly 3 inches right along Highway 43. Then south and west of Janesville, 1.3 inches, getting folks on our social media saying then you don't have to go too far north on the north side of Janesville and further north. Nothing. Madison southwest side, maybe 3/10 of an inch, over towards Watertown, 1/10 of an inch, and then you go to the northwest, another little strip of heavier rainfall, perhaps upwards of 2.5 inches. In Crawford County. Now that was good news for Janesville because they're in moderate drought conditions. Any area near the Wisconsin-Illinois border could use a couple additional drops, and we've got more drops in the forecast. Next chance comes in on Tuesday. We're going to track that together here using Future Track in a moment. But heads up, end of the week, Friday afternoon, looks like a good chance for showers and thunderstorms with the cold front that moves through the area. Could see some showers and thunderstorms to start off Tuesday morning with a dying cluster of thunderstorms entering southwest Wisconsin. Then with the thunderstorms redeveloping in the afternoon with the heat of the day, we can't rule out an isolated strong storm, but not expecting widespread severe weather, although some heavy rainfall would be possible on Tuesday. Here again, upper 50s to right around 60, clearing skies, light winds, plenty of moisture near the surface. We do expect dense fog to develop in parts of southern Wisconsin tonight. We'll warm up to 82, so that fog burns right off on Monday, and it'll be less humid on Monday as well. 80 to 84 off to the west of Madison, still in the 70s south and east of Madison. South and east, that's where you've had the clouds and the showers, and north and west up towards Sauk City. That's why you've had high temperatures upwards of 83. We'll see temperatures staying in the 70s this evening. Humidity slowly creeping out of the area with low temperatures right around 59. And again, slow on down if you're going to be driving later overnight, let's say around that 4 to 6 to 7 a.m. time frame, and then that fog will burn off on Monday. That 10-day forecast shows that next good chance of showers and thunderstorms later Friday going into Saturday with that cold front. The following week, just heads up as you look way out there, temperatures start to creep back up towards 90, lows near 70. We're going to head potentially as we go into the middle of July, more at 10 on a warm-up into the following week. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll talk more about that during the 10 o'clock newscast. And here's the scene in southern Wisconsin. A lot of pop-up showers and storms. Susan, thank you, in Richland County, showing us the contrast, the sun and that pop-up shower and storm in the background there. Lovely photo there.
Alex, you had me for a sec. I was hearing all these like low 80s temperatures and you're like, just hold on. We're going to creep back up into the 90s next week. I'm like, come on.
Sorry.
Alex, come on. No, I get it, though. But back to that picture, and you said Richland County?
Yep, way out to the west in Richland
stunning.
County. Yeah.
We need to start hiring some of these people. Like, just come take some photos for us.
Yes.
They're beautiful. They always are.
Yeah, it's always helpful to tell the weather story. Like I can give you numbers, I can show you data, I can show you Future Track. When you got a video or a photo, that's $1 million because that's verification. Well, that's what's going on outside. So thank you again, Susan, for sending us that picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew, what do we have coming up in sports?
Yeah, a big day and a big weekend for pitchers in Miami. Still to come in sports, a start 600-plus days in the making. Brandon Woodruff finally makes his MLB return. How he fared against the Fish. Next on News 3 Now. 683 days. That's how long it's been since Brandon Woodruff last pitched on an MLB mound. A shoulder surgery kept him out all of last season, and he was supposed to make his 2025 debut months ago. But an ankle injury and then an arm injury pushed it back to today, when the two-time All-Star, who holds the best career ERA in Brewers franchise history, finally made his big league return. But you wouldn't know it had been nearly 2 years by the way that he mauled the Marlins. First batter set down on strikes with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and the offense backed Big Woo up. Scoreless in the third, and Jackson Chourio lasers a liner to left. You can forget about it. A 2-run homer was all the help that Woodruff needed. He served up 6 innings of 1-run baseball, striking out 8 Marlins while giving up just 2 hits. The Brewers win it 3-1 in a big return for Woo that just felt too good to be true.
He was sensational. Any worries anybody had about this guy being able to pitch in his future or whatever, I mean, wow.
It was kind of strange. I'd be sitting here and the next thing it's like, man, I'm about to throw my first game in 2 years and just quietly think to myself, like, this is such a cool deal. It was a special day for me and, not only myself, my family and everybody that has, gone into this process.
And Major League Baseball unveiled the full rosters for this year's All-Star game this afternoon, and just one Brewer made the cut, Freddie Peralta. The starting pitcher has been fantastic this season, a 9-4 record to go with a sub-3 ERA and more than 100 strikeouts. It is the second All-Star nod for the Brewers ace. It has been a weekend full of full circle moments in Miami. Yesterday's belonged to this guy, Lake Bacher. Bacher played baseball in high school, but gave up the sport when he attended UW-Whitewater, concentrating on his role as the kicker for their football team. But after his freshman year with the Warhawks, Lake got that itch again. He tried out for the Warhawks baseball team, and the rest is history. The next year, he was selected in the 5th round of the MLB draft, and last night against the Brewers, he secured his first MLB save.
We just got the call in the after the 8th, and they called me in. It was a tied game. I was hoping that the guys would get us in the lead so I can have the opportunity, and it worked out that way. It means a lot to me. I'm coming far away just from the beginning of the season until now, working on a lot of stuff, so it means a lot.
And you hear about all kinds of journeys to the big leagues of any sport, but that may be one of the most out there stories you've ever heard. I mean, really cool stuff for Lake Bacher.
I mean, that's easily like a movie script
right,
that you could go based off of, going from being a Division III specialist to then being on an MLB mound.
Unbelievable.
I'd be hard-pressed to find anybody else that had that story. But speaking of other amazing stories, nearly 2 years for Brandon Woodruff. And as you mentioned, he went out there and did the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even know that it had been 2 years. He just picked it up just like that. And he did let on that he was a little bit nervous going out there. But he kind of said that, and he got some guidance from Max Scherzer, another really good pitcher in Major League Baseball, that once you get out there, it all just kind of fades away. And that's what he said happened. Really, really cool day.
And he's coming on at the right time. You know, we've got the young guys, obviously Freddie being another all-star, and as we get into the latter half of the season, throwing him back into that bullpen, good things may be on the way for the Brewers.
Big time, big time.
Well, sounds good. Thank you, Andrew. A final check of your first run forecast is coming up when we return. So we're reaching, the final hours of Independence Day weekend. Did you guys do anything fun? How was it, this 4th of July for you guys?
Well, how about you,
go first.
It was fun. I got to golf a little bit. I worked a lot, and I got attacked by mosquitoes pretty bad. So all in all, not too bad. But 4th of July is always a good time.
And speaking of mosquitoes, it probably doesn't help that we've gotten all this moisture.
No, they love the water. So they pond in the water, and then there's more of them. And speaking of water, water is part of the reason why tonight we're going to have some fog, clear skies, light winds. We've got moisture near the ground. That's that perfect recipe for a little bit of fog to wake up to tomorrow morning. But it is going to burn off very quickly. Highs of 82, a little bit less in the way of humidity as we go into Monday after that fog burns off. So it's going to be a really nice July day on Monday before more storms on Tuesday. And at 10, I'll give you a 4th of July, not 4th of July, a forecast into the middle of July.
All right, sounds good. C. Minix is up next. We'll see you after the 10.